Well, I see it now. Hey, everybody, we are live. Welcome to Hump Day Hangouts, episode 316. Today is the 2nd of December, 2020. Got the first episode of the last month of 2020 as we're wrapping up the year. So got almost everybody here. Going to go ahead and say hello to the guys, and then we've got a couple announcements, and then we're going to get into answering your questions. So let's see. Marco, you're appearing next to me, so I'll start with you, man. How you doing today?
I'm good, man. What's happening? We got a little bit of rain today in Costa Rica, but we're in the middle of the transition from the rainy season to the dry season. You can't tell, which is what makes it so good because it's always sunny and warm in Costa Rica. Fortress of Solitude, right? Is part of POFU. You're finding your fortress of solitude where you want to be instead of where you have to be. So this is part of, by far, not at my POFU yet, not by far, but since it's a work in progress, this is where I'm building my fortress of solitude. This is where I want to be.
Nice, man. I've totally adapted that from you. You know, I think the POFU thing by itself is great. You know, we all talk about that a lot, but I like your fortress of solitude idea. And I've kind of taken that, and I'm definitely working on that for myself. So not there, I'm not where I want to be in the end, but working on that and looking forward to getting that done sooner rather than later. Hey, let's see. Next up, Hernan, you are on the hit list. How you doing, man?
Good, man. I'm good. I'm excited to be here. It's a little bit rainy here too. It made like 1,000 degrees today with 1,000% humidity. You know, typical Buenos Aires at this time of the year. But it's good, man. It's really good. I'm excited to be here. Excited to be in this forum and sharing, you know, platform with all of you guys. So
cool. All right, Chris, how you doing today?
Well, kind of the other way here. Like, I think it's -4 degrees outside. Nice and cozy, warm on the chimney. Like everything is pretty sweet here. So yeah, like the only thing missing here is pretty much like that the ski slopes are opening up and we can actually go skiing, but we'll see when that's going to happen with all the corona bullshit.
So. All right, man. And back in Virginia, Bradley, how you doing?
I'm well, man. Happy to be here. Been working on ton of stuff. Got a lot of projects kicking off right now, so getting ready for New Year. So.
Gotcha. Yeah, I just saw a post from Bradley in the mastermind group. He's got some secret stuff brewing over there. So I know you're kind of feeling people out there for some more training that you're working on, right, for your own agency.
Yeah, it's a full-on method. So, and I'm looking for some volunteers in the group to help me develop it. But if not, then I'll do it on my own. So we'll see.
Cool. All right. Just wanted to say too, for anyone watching, you know, let us know. I love checking in with the guys. I mean, I talk to them once or twice a week. You know, we have a meeting, we do Hump Day Hangouts, but let us know how you're doing. Obviously, we can't bring everybody on and you know, turn this into a get to know each other. How's the weather where you're at show? But if we could, we would. We just don't have the time. So drop us a note. Let us know how you're doing in the comments if you're watching us.
Yep.
Also, go ahead.
No, I say yeah, man.
And if you're new to us, first of all, thanks for watching. We're glad you're here. You're definitely in the right place. A lot of times we get asked, hey, what's next? Where should I go? Should I go join your Facebook group? You know, what training should I pick up? And one of the best places to start is to find out how to shield your site. All right. We picked the word shield on purpose. You're going to hear this a lot. But not only can you shield your site, but you don't have to worry about algorithm updates again with the SEO Shield training. And you can get that at theseoshield.com, right? The word the SEOshield.com. Now, if you've been watching us for a little bit, or if you're just coming on board and you're an agency owner or a consultant that, like most of us, wants to get more clients, wants to get better clients, you want to grow your revenue and scale your team, then 2x Your Agency is what you want to check out. You can find that at 2xyouragency.com. And last but not least, Bradley touched on it, and so did I, with talking a little bit about our mastermind and some training that's going to be coming up there. But that's more for certainly not if you're just getting started, but if you're ready to grow your digital marketing business or agency, or you have a business and you want to learn how to employ all of this stuff or train your team members, then you want to join that community as far as getting real world info, like Bradley sharing his exact templates, how he's doing things in his agency, how we are each doing things in the real world with Semantic Mastery and our own businesses. You can find out more about that at mastermind.semanticmastery.com. And last but certainly not least, as always, mgyb.co. We just had a killer sale going on over Black Friday, Cyber Monday, with some amazing deals. We had a lot of people take advantage of those to get some great discounts on the SEO Shield packages, as well as link building, tons of other good stuff. But if you haven't checked that out yet, go over to mgyb.co. Again, that's where you can get done for you SEO Shield, syndication networks, ROAS drive stacks, as well as now the expansions for all of you who have ROAS drive stacks. Tons of other good stuff. So just head over there. It's where we point not only, just people watching Hump Day Hangouts. It's where we go to get our own services. It's where we tell mastermind members to go. It's where we refer clients. So definitely take advantage of that.
I have a quick announcement.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be starting my charity webinar series. Let me see, probably on Monday the 14th. And for every Monday following, so that would be the last 3 weeks in December and the first 3 weeks in January at the very least. So we might have to push a date here and there, depending on who's available, because what I'm going to do this year, I'm going to have guest speakers. Mike Pierce has already confirmed from No Fucks Given. He's going to come in and talk to the guys and give them a little bit of game. I'm going to be reaching out to other people. Last time it was fun. I had a lot of people give a bunch of stuff away. Stephen Kang gave stuff away. I know Jeffrey Smith, you guys donated. And so we'll set up what each one of us will give to the people who attend. And once I have the list and once I have everything ready and the dates already set, I'll make another announcement. But just so you guys know, all it takes is a donation. I'm not asking you how much, you know how I say it, right? Your heart is going to tell you whether to give, and then your wallet will determine how much it is that you give. So there you go. If whatever the donation is, we'll set it up so that you get included in the email list so that you don't miss any of the following webinars. Yes, they will be recorded. We'll have question and answer. So everything that's working right now and will work into the future is what we'll be sharing.
Awesome. And Marco, can you tell people, for the newer people who may not know what the charity is about, can you tell them the background on that?
So this is what the third year that I'm doing the webinar series, or the fourth year, I can't remember. But it's a charity here in Costa Rica. What we go into the worst of the worst places that you can imagine. And what we try to do is we try to provide an education for the kids, meaning that from first grade all the way to whatever. And if they want to go to the university, we have grants and we have scholarships. We have everything set up so they can go as far as they want. And as a matter of fact, a lot of the companies here, Intel included, Procter & Gamble, and DHL, and a whole bunch of others, they have a program where once the kids are trained, where they're no longer kids, they're young adults, they'll take them. They have jobs waiting for them. But I mean, the really difficult part of this is getting them through, especially now with COVID. I mean, you can imagine, we used to tutor them, we used to be there with them, and now it's getting really difficult. We still support them. We still give them the tutoring, although it's online. Intel provided computers for them so that we can help some of them. We have a lot of people collaborating, but I mean, these are people who have nothing, literally, no running water, no electricity. I mean, just nothing, not even the basic shit. I mentioned it before. The experts say, wash your hands. And this is not just for COVID. It's for everything. It's just good hygiene. You wash your hands and you avoid a whole lot of diseases. These people have no running water. They don't have any money to eat. How the fuck are they going to buy soap to wash their fucking hands, man? Come on, man. And so understanding this and understanding the need that there is why we do it. I try to get people in this so that they can contribute. And so it's really good because we give a lot of good shit away. Not only from us, but just the knowledge that we give away is ridiculous. For whatever your wallet says you can give this year.
Outstanding. Well, yeah, we'll definitely have some more announcements about that. We'll be sure to notify people by email too. And then, let's just keep people aware of it. And we'll start, and Marco, whenever you want to start that, we'll start sending out the sign up link. Cool. All right, guys, any other, I think that's it on my end though. Any announcements before we jump into questions? All right.
I think we're good.
Let's do it.
Look at Hernan's all bouncing around off the walls and stuff. Look at him.
Oh, he's bulking. Definitely visible.
It's late in the afternoon for me. I don't have that kind of energy. I don't know where the hell you get it. All right, let me grab the screen. Okay, you guys see my screen?
Good to go.
All right, cool. Looks like the first question came from Bobby. He was asking about how to get a sitemap for a Google site like this, and I can tell that from the URL that that's the old or classic sites. Are there sitemaps in the new versions, Marco? I didn't even look.
Yeah, there should be.
Okay. Do you know what the URL structure is?
I have no idea. Nope.
No?
No, I don't know what it is, but I mean, it's there.
Okay. Yeah, you might, I don't know if you could do like a site colon operator and look for sitemap. I don't know if you could do that or not. You probably could, right? Sure,
Yeah.
you could. Yeah, you could use a site colon operator to find the sitemap URL. Just take your Google site root essentially. Well, you need the whole URL, but you could do that from the home page. So site colon operator search with the sites.google.com, like the whole URL of your Google site from the home page essentially, and then put in quotes sitemap beyond that, and it should pull up. So if it has one. All right, next question was from Bobby. He says, also, have you ever seen a manual penalty from using a Google Stack technique? No, I have not. I've never seen one. Marco, have you?
Nope. Well, manual, no, I've never seen any penalty. You could conceivably get a manual, but I guarantee you that Google will go into all of the other websites that it has on its list, the millions and millions, before it goes into a G site, unless you're just calling a lot of attention to you, like you're outranking some of the big boys and they come and complain. Somebody might come looking. But I mean, that the things that people propose or they talk about are so unlikely. It's so unlikely to get a manual right now because of, I mean, people are paring back staff. They have millions and millions of websites that have to be manually gone through. And actually the manual team is limited. Google has unlimited resources probably, but I mean, think of the number of teams that they have to do all the different things. The likelihood of that happening, I mean, go the day that you get hit manually on a G site, go play the lottery.
Yeah. The unlucky lottery on that day, apparently.
AI is the name of the game these days.
Yeah. Well, what about from a main site that's using a money site that's using the SEO Shield? I've never seen a manual penalty there either.
I haven't seen a manual in so long, man.
Yeah.
You know, where you actually get the notice in Search Console that for whatever reason, either for linking or whatever it is, right? And then you can just go and fix it. You can just go and change it. It's not the death penalty. The death penalty is when you get de-indexed. Your site disappears and it's done.
Yeah. All right. Next question was from, looks like Keith Goodwin, Super Spun article. Keith, he says, hey guys, I have Battle Plan V2 and V3. Do we get an automatic upgrade to V4? From what I understand from previous re-releases or new versions, no, but we keep it very, very inexpensive for that reason. Is that correct, Adam? If you're still here.
Yeah, sorry, I was answering a question on the site. Can you run that by me one more time?
Keith Goodwin was asking, hey, I have Battle Plan V2 and V3. Do we get an automatic upgrade to V4?
That's a hard no. How copy, over. Just kidding. Hey, Keith. Yeah, no, we keep the price low on purpose. You know, we used to sell it for like $100 and, you know, we thought, hey, let's lower it. Let's make this easy. You know, we put the time and effort into upgrading it. And we want to pass that along to you guys so you can get your hands on it. But yeah, just go to battleplan.semanticmastery.com and grab the updated version.
Do we have, is V4 out?
Yeah, V4 is the current version.
Oh, that's the current version. Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, because I know we talked about updating it again, so I didn't know what version we were on. I gotta.
Yeah, we generally, we've altered a little bit, but generally once a year is what we try to do. And so Keith, yeah, you can go in, or you know, we don't have a date. You know, it's not like we're releasing one in December or anything, but we generally release it in the springtime. But there's no guarantees. We don't set a date. We just do it when we feel it's time to update.
Yeah, I think it's in order in the coming months for sure. So, all right, well, there you go. The next question is from Ashwin. He says, what is Google Tag Manager? Google Tag Manager is a great way to like deploy scripts and things like that on sites from one Google, like with the Tag Manager dashboard. Makes it really easy to change things and deploy things without having to log into the site. It's really cool because you can specify certain scripts to run on certain pages by just selecting, designating which page URLs you want it to fire on. In Tag Manager, it's in the trigger section. There's tags and triggers and all that. Anyways, Tag Manager, if you want to know what Tag Manager is, just go do a search. What is Google Tag Manager? You can read a ton of articles about it, Google's own articles or articles from others. But it's a really cool system. I use it for a lot of stuff, analytics, Google Ads, remarketing pixels, JSON LD for structured data in certain situations. Technically, JSON LD should be actually on the page itself instead of like through a third-party script. At least that's what Google's best practices documentation states, but it will validate, and it will be, it's okay to do it within a tag manager. And in certain cases, I've needed to do that. For example, I use a particular theme for a handful of sites that I manage that doesn't have a home page. Like the home page is built by the theme itself, and there's nowhere to inject code into the home page, even with plugins like header footer plugin, because there's just like, it never gives you like a home page, option if there's no home page. So that's one of those unique circumstances where I'll install JSON LD structured data through Tag Manager. But it's a really cool system. I like it. I use it a lot. If you want really good training on Google Tag Manager, Google Analytics, by the way, I saw that you asked about that as well. Yes, I also usually install analytics through Google Tag Manager. All of Google's products play very nicely with Tag Manager. They're all designed to do so. So, and for example, like in Google Ads, when you set up remarketing or conversion tracking or anything like that, it'll give you the conversion ID and it'll give you the information that you're supposed to add to the site, and it can be a snippet of code, or it can just give you the conversion ID, for example. And with Tag Manager, all you got to do is copy and paste the conversion ID into the correct tag or trigger field, well, tag field really. So it makes it really easy. And the same thing goes with analytics. You just copy the analytics, universal analytics code or identifier, or now it's the G4 analytics, which is, it's slightly different. And all of that integrates really well with Tag Manager. So, but what I was starting to say was, if you want to check out some really good training, go to measureschool.com. I think this guy's name is Julian, this young guy here. And it's measureschool.com. He also has a YouTube channel. If you just go to YouTube and search for Measure School, you'll find his YouTube channel. He's got a ton of free videos on there. He's got a ton of great things categorized via playlist. So I know he's got one on there for Tag Manager. I know because I've watched a lot of the videos in there to learn how to use Tag Manager. And all this stuff is free. I mean, he's got some paid courses, but if you want to get real deep into the weeds on how to set up analytics and do all kinds of crazy cool stuff with Tag Manager, he's got some paid trainings too, but I've never had to go that far because that is just way too geeky for me. I use it for kind of basic stuff. And I've learned everything that I've needed to learn about Tag Manager from this guy at Measure School, both from his YouTube channel, plus you can opt in for like a free training course, that kind of stuff. So I would highly recommend you go check it out. Any comments on that, guys?
Yeah, be careful with an insert header plugin, because some of those will do it site-wide. And if you're talking about schema and analytics, where you're looking to control flows, especially through your pages, you want more control, right? You want individual page and post control if you're working in WordPress. And for that, I recommend Jeffrey Smith's plugin. The Ultimate SEO plugin is fantastic because it has that header
inserter plus.
Insert that header plus module.
Code inserter plus.
Yeah, code inserter plus, where you go page by page, post by post, and you can insert the additional code that you want without affecting the rest of the website. So that's especially good with schema right now, where you're supposed to do page by page and post by post, whatever it is that you're doing. You're supposed to add your structured data for that specific page, calling in everything else, not inserting everything site-wide. That's what Google is recommending.
Yep.
And in this case, I recommend following what Google says to do.
Yeah, and Code Inserter Plus inside the SEO Ultimate Pro plugin also allows you to inject code into tag pages, category pages. Like it's awesome because you can do some really cool stuff. There's also the global canonical manager, which is also pretty powerful. So there's just a lot of really cool things you can do with that plugin. So moving on, next one is from Lane, I think, or Lan, I don't know, whatever, from this person. Will SEO Shield and other products work for sites that are not built using WordPress? Yeah. You know, we talk about WordPress often because that's like industry standard. That's what most, 95% of people use. But the SEO Shield methodology really has nothing to do with WordPress. That's typically what we use for self-hosted sites. But what we talk about for our methodology for getting results, it helps to have, an RSS feed so that you can do content marketing to your syndication network and that kind of stuff. But again, it doesn't have to be WordPress. It could be any type of site. And if you don't have an RSS feed for a particular type of site, you can always install WordPress or any type of content CMS, right? Content, whatever. A CMS on a subdomain, for example, or a subdirectory of the root domain that you could then generate an RSS feed from. But as far as, the SEO Shield and semantic mastery methods and all that, it has nothing to do with WordPress. It could be any type of site. There's just certain benefits that WordPress does provide, but it's not required. Any comments on that?
No, I mean, that's perfect. The SEO Shield is a way to shield your money site, whatever that money site is, whether you choose it to be a G site, an HTML site, PHP, whatever it is. It doesn't have to be WordPress. It can be Joomla. I mean, we've thrown around anything and everything that we can. I mean, that's what it's for. It's to shield whatever your project online is. It's not just for a WordPress site. And as far as the second part of this question, where schema is limited, if you can access the code, you can insert schema. And there should be a way to insert code through the host, the files in whatever hosting service it is that you're using. So you shouldn't be limited there. I don't see why that would be a limiter. You hire someone to do that. I mean, go to Fiverr, go to Upwork, go wherever you need to go to get someone to come into the website and look around and see how you can insert schema. Because I'm telling you, for e-commerce, it works really well. Getting schema in there and getting everything structured correctly for the bot works wonders in e-commerce.
Yeah, and a comment on that, we just talked about Tag Manager in the previous comment. If you've got a site like that, in my opinion, it would be way better to install the container code from Tag Manager. So with Tag Manager, you get container code. One goes in the HTML header, and then another one goes in the body section right after the opening body tag. It's two container snippets of code, right, that make up the container. And so what I would suggest doing is installing that globally across the site, because then you can inject code to specific pages, like on a page-by-page basis. You can get really granular inside of Tag Manager where you can manage that, right? So in other words, all you would need is to have the container code installed site-wide by the webmaster or whoever is managing the website on that whatever platform it's on. But then you can manage which code is deployed on which pages from inside of the Tag Manager dashboard. So you don't have to worry about accessing the site at all. That's one of the beauties of using Tag Manager, is the fact that you don't have to go in. So that's great if I'm working on a site that or working on a project that has a site that has like for a client that has a webmaster. Well, they don't want me in there poking around on their site. The webmaster doesn't want me in there poking around on the site. So I will send container code for Tag Manager to them and say, okay, install this site-wide. Like this will be global tags. And then from there, I can do what I want to do on a page-by-page basis using Tag Manager. And it works well that way. So I would encourage you to check out Tag Manager and then have that installed on that site. It will give you a lot more control over what schema you can add. Again, I know best practices state you're supposed to have for schema, especially, it's supposed to, the code is supposed to reside actually on the page, not be injected from a third-party script like Tag Manager, but it will work and it will validate. And in certain unique situations like what you're describing, I think that would be the better route to go, right? Okay, moving on. The next question was, are mass page site builders still working from an SEO standpoint? tools like serpshaker for local and ones for aggregating and embedding videos into posts? If so, where would you recommend using them? Thanks. Yeah, I mean, they're still, as far as I know, they're still viable. They still work. I don't do those. I haven't in many years now, or at least a few years, because, you know, it requires a ton of building those, like building a bunch of them sites, because some will just start to work well, like they'll naturally start rising in the serps, and others won't. And a lot, you know, the majority of them just don't really ever do much. Some do, and I don't know what the rhyme or reason is behind some of them working and some of them not. I used to do a lot of that stuff back in the day. You know, I even had built a team of virtual assistants, and we were full time at building sites Monday through Friday, 40 hours a week. And, you know, we build hundreds and hundreds of those sites, just to get a little bit of results. And the problem is that I see with them, and again, I know there's a lot of people out there that use this strategy and they do well with it. I got tired of it because Google often will de-index those types of sites. Like they might even start taking off indexing well and start generating traffic and things like that. And then all of a sudden Google comes by and just slaps it, either de-indexes it or just tanks all of a sudden, and it's got an algorithmic penalty. And there's really no way to recover that. And so, you know, I just got tired of rework. I like to build assets that have longevity, that I build them once, work on them one time, you know, or ongoing, work on them, you know, on an ongoing basis. And they continue to produce results, whatever the desired result is. And with mass page sites, I feel like you're always in danger of losing them. And I know because we had at one time 675 mass page sites wiped out all at once, that we had taken weeks to build that many. And just overnight, they all disappeared. They were all de-indexed. And that was really the end for me of building mass page sites, because I said, that's enough. I've spent too much money, too much time, too much effort on this for it to be all wiped out in one fell swoop like that. So I stopped doing it. Are they still viable? Sure. I know there's a lot of people that are still using those types of strategies or methods and getting results with them. It's not something that we want to do or we would recommend doing, but it's, you know, you have to make that decision yourself. Comments on that?
Yeah, the Land Solutions Network is partly mass page built website. It's WordPress for the pages and for the blog, but then it's targeting, I think it's every city over 2,500 people in the US. And it's alive and well, and we get leads, whichever ones I'm not interested in, I'm turning them over.
We just lost Marco. Is everybody else here still?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, just want to make sure it was him and not me. Yeah, so I mean, again, Marco's got the Land Solutions network, I believe, is the domain for that, and that's for his land buying business. And so yeah, he'll use it even in certain circumstances. I prefer not to. They can work though. There's no question. So mass video sites, I would do that before I would build like mass, like, you know, WordPress page sites, or, you know, I know there's HTML page builders as well. But if I was going to like populate auto blogs using video content, I think that has a bit more longevity, or it's less likely to get de-indexed or to catch a penalty, because, you know, a lot of times you're publishing video content, you know, republishing video content, and that depends on how spammy the text part of the page is, you know, because that I think that has a big effect on it as well. So, but again, it's not a strategy that I use, so I can't really advise you on the best way to use that. You'd have to go to a group that where there's, you know, users heavily into that type of stuff to give you the advice on the best practices. Okay. I guess Marco's getting lost power or something.
Yeah,
all right, we're gonna keep on moving. Hey guys, can we upload video files in the S3 bucket? If so, will the index in SERPs? Interested to get your opinions on this. Thank you. Yes, you can upload video files into an S3 bucket because it's just a file, right? You can upload any file into a bucket. And if it's in a bucket that is you've set to give it, you know, to for public access, or at least for read-only public access, then yeah, the URL can index. I'm not sure though. I haven't tried that in a while. I think if you upload a video file and you click the URL, it opens like a video player and kind of like a Lightbox, I believe. It's been a while since I've done that, but I know you can absolutely upload a video to an S3 bucket. And if it's set to public, then yes, the URL can index. There's no question. So, okay. Next is if you have a blog allowing iframes if you have a blog, excuse me, can allowing iframes be an issue for security or affiliate marketing? Yes, it can be. I know this because recently I had one of my lead gen sites for whatever reason, the host that site was hosted on enabled iframe blocking, or what they call an X frame breaker or a frame breaker or whatever you call it. Marco knows the proper terminology for that, but it was on the server side to where, if I tried to embed my WordPress site into other sites, for example, an ID page or the G site or anything like that, it would be a broken image, right? An image of a broken image. And so essentially saying it was a broken iframe. And so that when I contacted the host about it, I said, hey, I've had this site for many years and I've never had an issue. And all of a sudden now the iframe, if I try to iframe it or embed it into another site, it's broken. It won't work. And they basically said that they had enabled an iframe breaker on the server side because of security issues. That's the extent of my knowledge on it potentially being a security issue, is that I've seen it with one of my own sites and contacted the host, and they explained that it was a security issue and that they were not going to disable that X frame breaker or whatever iframe breaker on that particular server. So I ended up having to migrate that site to another host altogether, which is what I did. So I don't know about affiliate marketing. I think there are some issues with that as well, but I don't know because I just don't do affiliate marketing. Maybe if Marco comes back on, we can come back to this question, but I can't help you with that. As far as for security, I know that can present some issues, but I don't know what they are because I'm not a, server or WordPress security type of person. So sorry, I can't give you a better answer on that. The next question was, when onboarding a new client, what are some SEO quick wins that we can apply apart from schema and basic on-page fixes to get some quick results? Also, would the mgyb video embeds be suited for a brand new branded YouTube channel, or would you wait a little while first? Okay, from the first part of the question is, what are some SEO quick wins we can apply? Well, I've found the best results, the quickest results through Google Maps. And, by working on so if it's a project that has an associated Google My Business profile, I've been able to rank Maps listings way quicker than organic rankings. And that's just because for many years, I didn't even focus on organic rankings at all. Now I do. Now I focus on both Maps and organic rankings because the proximity filter for Google My Businesses, for GMBs essentially, is a lot tighter. So in other words, it's harder to get a Maps listing ranked in a 3-pack outside of the immediate physical area of the business, right? It didn't used to be that way, but now that that's the case, it's harder to get that. You can still do it, but it takes consistent effort over time. That's the local GMB Pro method to get a Maps listing to rank in, Maps 3-packs outside of its immediate physical area, right? So that's what we call the proximity. But now because of that, because it's tighter, I'm also working on organic rankings as well. And so I found it to be easiest to rank the Maps 3-pack in its immediate area, right? If it's a service area business, and I'm just making some assumptions here. I don't know. It could be a storefront business, whatever. But I've always found GMB ranking to be easier than organic rankings. And that's only probably because that's all I focused on for many years. But typically you can get results quickly there. Something else would be press releases. Press releases typically rank very quickly. So if you want to get some, now that's not, it will benefit the root domain or the website that you're trying to promote as well. But the press releases themselves can rank quickly. And so if you're trying, like if you've got a new client and something that you want to do is to start, getting them some exposure while you're working on getting their site to rank or even their Google My Business profile to rank, then, publishing press releases fairly consistently, which I always recommend you do consistently anyways, can work well, right? it's important that you would put the brand name in, so the company name in the, especially for your first couple of press releases, to put the brand name in the press release title. That's the most important part of the press release, is the title. So put, I like to do brand plus keyword association as much as possible for all press releases. Sometimes I will just, so in other words, like, whatever the company name is plus their primary keyword, you work that into the title. If you're having us do the press releases through mgyb, which is Press Advantage, then you can request that when you place the order, PR title. Like, that's what I do. My bloggers, whenever they order press releases for, my clients and such, is they tell them what the title should be, right? So you just put that in your order instructions. The PR, I say PR title, but you could say, press release title, whatever, and then specify what you want it to be. Just as long as it's not spammy, you want it to read well, but also, like I said, to put the company name plus the primary keyword, or whatever keyword it is that you're trying to rank for. But that starts to build that brand plus keyword association. Plus, if somebody like a client goes and does a brand search, they'll start seeing the press releases ranked. And not just one press release, but oftentimes you'll see, like, even the same press release ranked multiple times on page 1 for a brand search, because it's been published on multiple news sites, right? And so you'll end up getting that same press release to rank multiple times because it's ranking on different sites. So I don't know if that makes sense, but I like to use, press releases is an integral part of what I do for client work and for SEO. And so we're constantly publishing press releases, and that I found that to be a really quick win. Lastly, obviously YouTube videos tend to rank really well, especially for brand search. Not so much, I found, for local keywords. They're getting harder to rank for that on page 1, but YouTube videos are. But for brand searches, they typically rank well. So that's something else you could do, is just have a nice video created. I just had, I can't share it here, guys, because I don't want to share one of my projects, but I just had 4 different videos created on Fiverr for one project, trying different providers, video producers, to try for lead gen. I'm doing a lot of YouTube ad stuff right now for lead gen, for local lead gen. And so I just wanted to try, like, split test multiple different videos in types of videos. And I found a really good provider, a couple of really good providers, in fact, but I found like a inexpensive animated video maker. It was like $60. That was including the Fiverr fees. It's like $60, and I had it in like 48 hours, the video back, and it turned out really, really nice. So what I'm saying is, go to Fiverr and look at video. I look for video ads, because I'm usually running them on YouTube ads, but look for video ads or something like that, and search for video ads or whatever in Fiverr, and you can find some good providers there for inexpensive, that, again, you can pass that off to the cost off to your client. But a YouTube video is also something. And here's the other thing. Remember, with press releases that I just mentioned, you can embed a Google My Business map. So that can help your Google My Business profile to rank, or the GMB profile for your client or whatever to rank. You can also embed YouTube videos now. And not all of the pickups or the syndication points for the Press Advantage network, but a lot of them do. So, like, again, if you do those 3 things, right? If it has a GMB, the project or the client, and you get a video made, and then you publish press releases where you're embedding the GMB map and the video, it's going to help all 3 to rank, right? The press release, the Google My Business profile, and the video, and ultimately it can help the website to rank too. So that would be what I would suggest doing. Any comments here, guys? And that was more of an SEO question. So
run ads. That's a good win, usually,
Yeah.
While you're waiting for your SEO to kick in, like, one of the recommendations is to start a YouTube campaign or a Facebook ads campaign. That will give the client some quick wins while you wait for the ad to kick in. So the SEO to kick in. So that's usually what I do.
I agree. Yeah, I'm doing a ton of ad stuff for, I was mentioning this to my partners yesterday during our corporate meeting, but, Google Ads, the audience targeting options have gotten incredibly, so much better. They've gotten way better than they used to be. And it's changing all the time. The last time I was in there messing around with custom audiences was about 6 or 8 weeks ago, up until this past week. And just in this past week that I've been in there a lot, I've been doing a lot of ads testing and stuff. And the audience targeting has gotten even better. Like, in other words, there's more options. And what it used to be called custom intent audiences, now it's called custom audiences. And you can actually, there's another thing called combined audiences. So like, there's a ton of stuff that you can do in there. It's very inexpensive. YouTube is. And if you get your targeting right, you can get a lot of clicks from YouTube to your website as well. I'm probably going to be doing a significant update to our YouTube ads branding course. And January or February timeframe, and we're going to end up relaunch, or I think actually January, and I think we're going to end up relaunching that with the updated stuff because of all the new targeting options. And I've got a lot of data now that I can share, like from my own ads account, and it's a really, really good option because you can get some very inexpensive traffic that is from an audience, a relevant audience, and it's inexpensive. And that's another, like Hernan said, that's another great way to get some exposure for your client. All right, he says also, would the mgyb video embeds be suited for a brand new branded YouTube channel, or would you wait a little while first? Okay, yes, you can do it. You can absolutely do an embed gig on a brand new YouTube video or a video that's on a new YouTube channel. A few years ago, I switched my methodology, or at least my thought process on just doing, a ton of backlinks and embeds to videos. And again, you can brute force using traditional SEO tactics with YouTube still, right? So with backlinks and or embeds, you can still get really good results. There's no question. But I always like to try to kind of create a balance between backlinks and embeds and traffic or engagement signals, which again, you can set up YouTube ads or Google ads for YouTube, where you can set your audience or define your audience. There's in-market audiences. There's, there's already predefined audiences available inside of Google Ads, or you can create custom audiences. And either way, you can essentially select a relevant audience that your ad will show to, your video will show to on YouTube as an in-stream ad, right? So that's a true view ad, which is, or true view in-stream ad, which is those ads that play during, either before or during another YouTube video. So if you set up your targeting right, now you're getting relevant eyeballs, and especially like if it's for local, you can set geographic targeting. So now the views to your video are coming from a relevant audience within a relevant geographic area, right? So in other words, they're local IP clicks. So it's very powerful because you can rank YouTube videos on engagement signals alone. We know, we've done it a million times. Now that's more of a YouTube algorithm thing, but even in Google, so Google search results, there's a big part of YouTube videos ranking in Google search results is engagement signals. So I like to set up Google ads for videos that I'm trying to rank, which I really don't try to rank videos anymore because I get results from the Google ads themselves. But when I do try to rank videos, or when I have in the past, I try to do a balance between backlinks and embed gigs and engagement signals so that it looks more natural. Here's my point. If you have a brand new video that has very little views on it, and now all of a sudden it's getting thousands of embeds and thousands or tens of thousands of backlinks, and the view count isn't correlating with that amount of activity in backlinks and embeds, does that look fishy? Of course it does. It smells like an SEO, right? It smells like an SEO is working on trying to rank the video. So I like to do a more natural approach in that I start buying views essentially from YouTube ads or Google ads, which is the only way that I would buy views for videos. I wouldn't spam views anymore, guys. That's just stupid because you can buy inexpensive traffic from relevant audiences that are likely to become leads or convert or whatever anyways. But I'd like to start buying traffic to the video first. And then once it starts to receive views on a consistent basis, then I'll order the embed gig and start building backlinks. Because the way that, think about a video that goes viral. A video that goes viral, it starts getting a shit ton of social media shares and views before it starts to get a bunch of backlinks and embeds. Does that make sense? And because it starts to go viral first before people start linking to it. So that's kind of what I like to do, is model that. And so I start to buy views to it. And once the view count starts to rise consistently, then what I do is do the embeds and the backlinks, which tends to work really well. Again, you can still brute force stuff, with the old traditional SEO methods, but I like to do a more natural approach to it. And I've been doing that for several years now, and it works well. So, all right, we're going to keep moving. That one went a little longer than I planned. All right, Ed's up. Ed says, oh, I'm sorry. The next question was, do you recommend buying expired domains, or should I just create a new domain in regard to using SEO Shield and your other products? I like to do new domains. There is obviously a little bit of a benefit, sometimes SEO benefit, of buying an expired domain that had good metrics, that was relevant, that kind of stuff. But you know, there can be some, some authority built into the domain. But I like to use new domains. Personally, that's just the way I do it, especially branded stuff. You know, there's a ton of different type of domain extensions now. So I don't even just worry about .coms, .nets, and .orgs anymore, right? I've gotten really good results using .care domains, .realty domains, .services domains. So the chance that you can get .gay, yeah, Hernan says .gay. There's a .gay extension now. I keep encouraging Hernan to get Hernan Vasquez .gay. He won't do it though. It's like $3,200 or $3,200 for that damn domain. I know. I've looked it up for him.
Somebody's bidding against him.
Yeah. Anyways, all jokes aside, there's a ton of domain extensions now, and I've had good results with them. So it's likely that you'll be able to find whatever brand name you want to create for your project, or if it's, if it's a client, whatever their brand name is, you could probably get that domain. Or a domain with a unique extension that would fit that brand. That's what I recommend doing. I just like to start from scratch. I know there is some benefit from using expired domains as long as they were clean, but I prefer to have something that I've branded with a unique brand, if that makes sense. Okay. All right, next question. There's a lot of questions. We're going to run out of time. I'm going to roll through the next few. Ed says, you guys just finished up a Nitro Plus link building package for my SEO Shield. The point of me ordering the link building was to increase authority and create link juice following the SEO Shield properties and the drive stack links, not to generate traffic, correct? Yes, that is correct. The link building is about the SEO, which should in turn, if the SEO is doing well and your site starts to rank, right, then you should start receiving traffic from that. So the link building is not about traffic. Can some traffic come from it? Sure. But that's not ever the point, right? The point is to help the site to rank, which in turn will start generating its own relevant traffic from people finding it through searches. So yes, you are correct. It's not to generate traffic. It's for essentially just powering up the properties so that they can rank and start generating organic traffic. He says, I'm just trying to confirm or better understand that link building has very little, if anything, to do with traffic whatsoever. It elevates my website by creating a web of links, a footprint. Yes. And that's essentially what we're talking about. Well, the backlinks aren't necessarily like to create a footprint. That's what the SEO Shield is for, is to create an entity footprint. And you want to expand that footprint as much as possible. That's why we talk about, like, syndication networks and trying to get branded profiles on as many properties as you can. That's expanding your branded entity footprint. That's a good thing. So, and then the link building, it just kind of helps to power those nodes up, right? Those semantic nodes up. And that's kind of the point that we're trying to do with link building. Okay. Confirm this is true and that traffic is bullshit. No, traffic's not bullshit. Traffic is part of art, right? Activity, relevance, trust, and authority. And so that's traffic is really what we want, right? Isn't that really what we're after? We're not after rankings. We're after traffic, relevant traffic. I mean, think about that, right? I mean, rankings are just the precursor to the relevant traffic, which is what we desire, right? If we get something ranked, we're going to get the traffic that we desire. So traffic's not bullshit. I wouldn't ever count on traffic from link building gigs, though. I can tell you that. Like, that's not the objective of link building the way that we do it. It's not to generate traffic. It's to push rankings, right? Or to help increase authority, which can push rankings, which can then generate traffic from organic search, right? So that's what I'm trying to convey here. Traffic will come from the buoyancy of ranking because of the link building. Thanks for the better explanation. Yes. So you do understand. Too many questions. Hey, Brad. prospecting, and that's the name of this person asking the question, not Ed, the last question. So Too Many Questions asks, hey Brad, prospecting question, are you still using Dub? I haven't heard you talk about it in a while. If not, what are you using? Cheers. Good question, and no, I'm not. I thought it looks to be a great platform. They have a lot of really cool features and everything else. Part of the reason I'd signed up for Dub originally was because they had email marketing, like, you know, essentially you could do emailing and everything using their platform, the Dub embedded videos in the email through their own, through the Dub platform. In other words, you could set up SMTP and they had emailing from inside Dub as well as automations. Well, I purchased the upgrade for the automations, and the automations just did not have the functionality that I needed them to do for my prospecting campaigns. So because of that, I canceled the service. It was a great service, but it didn't have the functionality that I needed. I was able to get the functionality that I needed using the high level platform instead, the Go High Level platform. And then from there, I just did my old school embed methods. If I'm going to send video emails, I just use the same methods that I did in the past. But I needed specific triggers and actions, like trigger links and you know, stop on reply, or if on reply, move to a new campaign, you know, all that kind of stuff. And the automations inside Dub weren't that advanced. And I tried to actually connect Dub through like Zapier to something that would give me that functionality, and that added a whole another level of complexity that I didn't need when I could accomplish everything I needed under the Go High Level platform. So I abandoned Dub, canceled my subscription, and moved everything into the High Level platform, which is what I'm using now for prospecting almost exclusively. It works really, really well. And I covered all of that in the POFU Live 2020, which the recordings are available for that. So if you want my prospecting method and exactly how I built it inside of the Go High Level platform, I've got process docs. I've got the scripts for my emails, the scripts for my voicemail drops, the scripts for my SMS text messages that are all part of the automated prospecting machine that I built. That's all. You can see all of that in the POFU Live 2020 recordings, which are still available. So check that out. Next is Brady, I believe. Aside from a shield, links, and schema, what are some other things we should be doing regularly to strengthen the entity, assuming content has been published on blog? Plus branded rank. Thanks again for your help. Getting more profiles on other platforms, so branded profiles, and then interlinking them, right? So cross-linking to as many profiles as you can, creating semantic hubs or social or semantic hubs. That's important. Powering up those entities is always important. Get Wikipedia links, like from Wikipedia itself, not like just wiki links, right? There's a ton of wiki link builders out there. I don't know how valid those are anymore, other than just for spam links, which has its place. But Wikipedia, you can go to mgyb.co and order Wikipedia links. That helps. You know, citations. There's just a number of things that you can do. Anything that you can do to strengthen an entity, right? So again, that's creating more nodes on the web for that entity, and then connecting those nodes, right? And so that, again, that's just increasing your brand's entity footprint. Does that make sense? And so there's the press releases, all the stuff that we talk about consistently, guys. Those are what you do to increase the entity. Okay. BB, what's up? He says, what the fuck? One of the one with too many questions, BB, is not me. Yeah, and that's funny. I think that's probably why you use that name, right? Too many questions, BB. Was to poke fun at you. Anyway, he actually took the time to create such a user. I think it's kind of funny, man. Remember they say, what is it? Mocking is the highest form of flattery, or something like that.
Imitation is the highest form of flattery.
Yeah. There you go. Hopefully, by the way, Adam, did you drop the link to the POFU Live recordings while I was talking about it?
I did, and I just saw someone else was asking about SEO Ultimate, so I'm grabbing that too if you come across that.
Okay, cool. All right, so BB's questions are, can you outrank with somebody's same content as his, and that the post in your website is written after the competitors was published? Yeah, you can. You can piss somebody off that way. I know that. But with the same content, if you outrank somebody with their content on your domain or on another website, they're going to be pissed, right? And not only that, because you know, you shouldn't be just copying and pasting somebody else's content. And even if you're mad at somebody, like I just don't do negative SEO stuff. I just don't do it. And I guess outranking somebody with their own content, but on your domain isn't really negative SEO, but to me, that's still like, I just wouldn't do it. I just don't do shit like that. I don't know that that's what you're doing, BB. I'm just saying that sounds like the only time that I would ever even consider something like that, as a kind of a revenge, like a revenge thing. But I don't recommend doing it. And not only that, but it's likely that person, you know, they can send a copyright infringement notice to you. I just wouldn't do it. You always ask the weirdest questions, BB. I got to tell you. I don't know what you're trying to do all the time, but you've always got some very interesting questions. So I wouldn't do it. Can it be done? Yes, you can. You can absolutely do that, but I wouldn't do it. Kind of a devious question, but just for understanding. And your RSS feed posting is related to that. Okay. Yeah. You know, it's interesting. There's been times where I've published content on my money sites, and then I've mirrored that page onto a G site, and the G site outranks the money site. And it's usually temporary. But I've had that happen many times where the G site will actually outrank the money site. But that's why I always embed the money page into the G site page at the very top, so that if somebody lands on the G site as opposed to the page that I want them to land on, they're going to see the page anyways. Does that make sense? And then typically over time, the money site page will end up outranking the G site page. But sometimes that happens. So yeah, I mean, you could just use a G site alone and spam the shit out of it with the content that you're trying to rank. And typically, I mean, it's oftentimes you can outrank a competitor that way. What is the rule of thumb about schema? Write as little as possible per page or write as much as possible per page? In my opinion, more equals better, as long as you're not spamming it. The more thorough or detailed you can get in your schema, as long as it's relevant, the better. And I've been testing a lot with that lately. I mean, just again, the POFU live recordings, there was a lot of schema training in there, and I realized how weak my schema game was when that was at the end of September. And I've spent a lot of time since then studying and implementing much more thorough schema in my own projects and client projects, and I'm seeing some significant results from that. I would highly recommend that you use an app like this, schemaapp.com. By the way, if you guys want to learn a ton about schema, besides joining the Heavy Hitter Club, there's also some really good schema training here at schemaapp.com. For their, of course, they're always referencing this tool to help you build the schema, but there's a lot of good training in there for gaining a better understanding of like connected data items, for example, and like all that kind of stuff. There's some really good training here. Maybe not some of the ninja stuff that we teach in the Heavy Hitter Club, but there's some really good foundational training for schema and how to develop it in the Schema app site. Okay. Jim says, will you share your link for SEO Ultimate Pro? Yes, I think Adam already did. Tim says, I just made the first purchase from you guys, and I bought one SEO Power Shield, one press release, and one multi-tiered syndication network with one Nitro Kit-High competition. Wow, that's a good purchase, Tim. Thank you for that, and we hope that you get a lot of benefit from it. He says, my question is, should I launch the SEO Power Shield first and then wait until the work has been completed and then launch the multi-tiered syndication network with the one Nitro? Oh, you know what I would recommend doing first, Tim, is have the syndication network built first before you order your SEO Shield, which, by the way, if you ordered an SEO Power Shield, that comes with the syndication network. Again, go back and look at the sales page or the product page for SEO Shields, and you'll see the SEO Power Shield includes a syndication network, which should be your branded syndication network, just so you know. And the reason we do that is so that when you order the SEO Power Shield, you get all of the major components of what we teach in one order, and then they're developed and built in the proper order. So with an SEO Power Shield, it starts with the syndication network, then it does the RYS, Drive Stack, and G site, and then the ID page. Does that make sense? And it's in that order. And the reason we do it in that order is because your branded syndication network should be included, the syndication network profile URLs should be included in the Shield SEO Shield build, which is the RYS, Drive Stack, and G site, and the ID page. So if you ordered all these things separately, then I would have the syndication network built first, right? And then as soon as that is built, you can order the SEO Shield, and you want to submit the URLs from the syndication network in as part of the SEO Shield build instructions, right? So you have your money site URL, your GMB assets if it's for local, also your profile URLs from your syndication network, and any of your major social media properties, Facebook pages, you know, anything like that, LinkedIn, all that stuff. You want to include all of that in the SEO Shield build. Okay. But again, if you ordered an SEO Power Shield, it comes with a branded syndication network. So I'm not sure why you would have ordered those separately, but hopefully that makes sense. Guys, it's 5 o'clock. We're out of time. So, yeah.
Where does it all go? All the time.
Quickly. So, sorry I don't have any more time, guys. We're going to wrap it up, but we will see you guys next week.
All right.
Have a good one.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.